Like there are white people that I know that grew up with not a lot, and so they think that they can't possibly be privileged.
Well, okay, hang on. Let's go with you, though.
Okay.
So you identify as lower.
Yeah. When growing up, I was lower middle class. Now I'd say I'm more working class.
Okay.
Family.
Okay. So, but is that? Wait, hang on. You're upper middle class. Lower
middle class. Yeah.
Lower middle class, working class, right? Mm-hmm. Can Maya? Wait. Do you have more privilege than Maya? Dude, she's living in a really sweet neighborhood, by the way.
But I do have white privilege. Would I say that her life is privileged in other ways? I'm sure. But her skin color versus my skin color, I will always get the upper hand.
Always?
I'd say so.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back going to new video, guys. Today, we're going to check out white privilege. Let's go right into today's video, guys. This is going to be good.
When you guys hear conversations about white privilege and white supremacy, what do you hear?
I mean, people usually just bring up white privilege, and I don't know. I live in a privileged area, so I hear it a lot from I guess, other races other than people of my color. They're not usually like saying anything bad. They're saying how it is, and they're saying how they see it. And usually there's better areas like where I live. Near Baltimore County. Baltimore County is not the best area, but then where I live, it's a better area. So people make those differences, like real world differences that I agree with, but I mean, I don't argue with them. I just witness it how it is.
So what's it mean though? So in other words, do you see yourself as privileged?
Yes.
What's that mean for you?
Just means I have it better than other people, and I just accept it.
What's it?
That I may have more money than other people. I may be living in a nicer area than other people.
Okay, so privilege for you, the way this conversation gets defined is that privilege is about resources mm-hmm. and about like money and a house and opportunities and this kind of thing. Maya, how about you?
I haven't obviously benefited from white privilege, but I do see it. Like I said, I grew up in Northern Virginia, which is a predominantly white area. And so I get to not really experience it, but I get to see other people exerting it in everyday life that they don't really realize or recognize. But I can recognize it from my background and my experiences.
So what would it mean to benefit from white privilege for you?
Like for skin color or?
Yeah, just what would it, you said, yeah, I haven't really benefited from white privilege. So mm-hmm. what do you mean by that?
But I haven't really benefited by it, or I've been so I think for myself, I am lighter skinned compared to a lot of other black people, and I do recognize that. I do benefit from it because when I'm in more like white environments, a lot more people will come up to me than to my friends who are of darker complexions, mm-hmm. and they feel more ready to be open and more friendly with me, and be willing to give me more, not information, but willing to talk more.
Just engage
willing
more.
To engage, yeah.
So you have benefited from white privilege?
Yes. But since I'm not white, I'm not getting the full privilege. But since I am lighter, I'm still benefiting from some of it.
So what would full privilege look like? So
I think full privilege would be. So I went to. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but George Marshall High School in Vienna, Virginia. So like the population, I think, is 50% white, 30% Asian, and I think 2% black. And so I've grown up a lot around like white people, and so growing up around them, it's more like, it's not, I think a lot of it is you're not, it's unapologetically going after more like what you want or what you think is yours. And so you don't have to think about other people or your circumstances or surroundings. It's more like you're not as inhibited as someone who's kind of more raised with because I kind of raised with some things will limit you because you are a woman, because you are black.
Yeah.
But with having white privilege, it's one less thing limiting you.
Okay, so hang on, let me I'm just gonna push on to something here. So you're what class? What social class are you?
I said I'm upper middle class.
And bro, what? How about you?
Say like upper middle.
Upper middle. Okay. So wait. So then Maya, but you. Okay, but upper middle. So that allows you to. So you lived then around a certain class of white people also.
Yes.
Right. And so it's white privilege by extension. Yeah. Okay. Devin, what's when you hear that white privilege? What's it mean for you?
To me, it just means that like my skin color in and of itself does not make my life any harder than someone who is a person of color. Like I will never question if something bad happens to me, was it a result of my skin color? I hope that makes sense.
Well, yeah, except that things could happen to you that you could, like, maybe not get a job or something because you're white. Like, someone's getting like, yeah, I can't hire you because you're white. We need more black and brown people. There are all sorts of things that could happen to you. I just want to push on that a little bit.
I mean, from my perspective, I grew up in Philadelphia, so I do hear, like, both sides of, I guess, the white privilege thing from white people, I mean. Like, there are white people that I know that grew up with not a lot, and so they think that they can't possibly be privileged.
Well, okay, hang on. Let's go with you, though.
Okay.
So you identify as lower.
Yeah.
Or
When growing up, I was lower middle class. Now I'd say I'm more working class.
Okay.
Family.
Okay. So, but is that? Wait, hang on. You're upper middle class. Lower
middle class. Yeah.
Lower middle class, working class, right? Can Maya? Wait. Do you have more privilege than Maya? Dude, she's living in a really sweet neighborhood, by the way.
But I do have white privilege. Would I say that her life is privileged in other ways? I'm sure. But her skin color versus my skin color, I will always get the upper hand.
In what
Always?
way?
I'd say so.
Do you agree with that? Daniel, do you agree with that? She's always going to get the upper hand over Maya?
I wouldn't say always, but usually yes, with being white.
Maya, do you think that?
I think yes. I mean, I'm not sure what her. I think it depends on what the situation is, but I think in most cases, yes.
Yeah? Huh. So listen, let me just say, I want to say something about where I'm going here, right? For me, as an instructor, we like throw these terms around a lot, like white privilege and white supremacy and whiteness and white this and white that and whatever. Like white people just have power and white people are special and white people whatever, right? And then I'm like, I'm going to just I'm going to just take you and I'm going to say, all right, let's just put you in the lower class for a moment, okay? So you're going to be a representative. Instead of lower middle class, working class. I grew up in the working class. So, like, I'm there on that. So, like, but I'm going to just hold you there. But, like, look, the way I see it is, like, these two right here, Daniel and Maya, they have some things. Like, if you went to their neighborhoods, right, because I know where y'all live, right? If you saw the cars their family drove and their neighbors drove, and this kind of thing, and do you think if you really saw that, and let's pretend for a moment that Daniel isn't white, that he's black, because dude, first off, you do understand, there are black people in this room who are rich, like rich, man. Y'all know who you are, and maybe at some point you'll come up here later in the semester, but like, come on, man. Maybe Maya is one of them. But the point being, like, I just want to open this conversation up a little bit, right? Like, how do we get to this place where it's just automatically assumed? Like, dude, imagine where Maya lives for a second. And you're sitting here going like, yeah, but I have this privilege. And I'm like, dude, Go home with her over Thanksgiving break, man, and come back and report back to us. Like, I don't know. What do you?
I think because I have been exposed, like my roommate, he's from Colombia. He drives a Benz, and it's like his prized possession. So
Wait, Colombia, the country of Colombia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has always been somebody that I look up to in his work ethic and whatnot. But I still feel that on the topic of white privilege, it's intrinsic to my identity. You know what I mean? Like there is no, like my social class and my social upbringing is not readable when I walk into a room. What is readable is my skin color.
Yeah, I got you. It's kind of like Isabella, right? A little bit, right? Like I know, like if I know the upper class in Quito, so I know where Isabella's from. I know who she is, right? But okay, this is poverty in the U.S. Okay, this is defined in different ways. Look, you got 40 million poor white people in the U.S. What do you say to all those white people? Those 40 million white people? Hang on, look right in the camera, actually. And what do you say to them?
Well, poverty isn't always generational, but that is a giant factor in a lot of people's upbringings and how much wealth they have. Because a lot of things that, well, I think I've had discussions before about what is wealth and what's the difference between wealth and having money.
Yeah.
And having wealth is meaning that you can tide it over to future generations and that they'll be okay. But having money is just you having enough for yourself in this lifetime.
Okay.
And I think a lot of factors play into, a lot of people do have money, but not a lot of people have wealth. And I think that's a giant thing, that and financial literacy also, and knowing what to do with that.
Okay, all right. Now, you know what you just sounded like right there? You sounded like a really privileged, educated, smart American. Forget about the fact that you're black for a second. You sounded like a privileged American in that response right there. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to talk to 40 million white people who all have white privilege. So hang on. White people, 40 million white people. Y'all have a shit ton of white privilege. And no matter what, when you walk into a room, your whiteness is going to get you things. Like, people are just going to throw shit at you because you're white. You know, that's how it works. But Maya, right now, and Daniel and Devin, they're going to talk to you and tell you how you should think about all that white privilege you have. Okay? All right, so go ahead, man. What are you going to say?
I'm not really sure I understand the question.
Well, you got it. Good. Here, I got it. Oh, hang on. Here you go. You ready? Mm-hmm. Hold on. I'll do this. Here's the question. Dude, I'll just sit right here. So I'm one of those white people, okay? And I'm going like, man, the fuck? I have privilege? Like, I can go see the doctor. I can't do shit. I'm poor, man. I'm working 3 jobs. I'm barely hanging on. And like, where's my privilege? Just being white? Like, where's my privilege, man? Like, I'm so poor I can't even get a job at Walmart. Like, where's my privilege? All right, that's what I want you to respond to.
Okay. So what I'd say to that is...
No, to those people.
Oh, to those people?
To you, actually, you. You could say to you.
Okay. To you, what you can think of is white privilege is not just this God complex. It's not, oh, I'm inherently better. It's not, I should have this job because I am white. It's because you get those little advantages, those little... When you say you have nothing, if you're white and poor, you still are white. And that in itself, with our country's history, does give you a little leverage over people of color. And
wait, over you?
Yes. I've been...
Well, hang on. Let me ask you this. Would you rather be poor and white Poor and
Okay.
white, okay? You grew up, your mom works at a diner 20 hours a week because she's home taking care of her disabled father. And your father is kind of, I don't know, a crackhead, right? And you're white.
Okay.
Would you rather be, and really trying to survive, maybe disabled, forget the crackhead thing, disabled, like really working hard, or you ready? Or would you rather be you?
Of course, I want to be me because
Okay.
I know myself.
No,
but-
no, I am not talking
I
about
don't
that,
know.
my friend. I'm talking about you, black and wealthy. Because you're in the richest 1% of the world's population. So am I, by the way. So are you, by the way. The richest 1% of the world's population. So, Devin's, you're down a little bit, but you're all right. Would you rather be that person in white, or would you rather be you?
I mean, sometimes I would think that I'd rather be white, but I think with who I am now, I'd rather be in my circumstances.
All right, bro. What would you say? Thanks, man. Hey, by the way, I'm totally putting you on the spot. You got that, right? Yeah. I mean, there's no answer to this. Like, basically, I'm just kind of backing you against a wall, and I'm going to see how you're going to come away from it. But, dude, how about you? Like, what are you going to say to all your white brothers and sisters out there who are really poor?
I would just say it depends person to person how much money they have, how much money they grew up with. It also could depend on where they're from, the opportunities that they have, I don't know, or just going to school, getting a job, things that,
Dude, you're talking like a white. You know what you're talking like right now? You're just talking like a white guy who doesn't want to say anything racist, right? It's like, because holy shit, I'll get canceled and like my life will fall apart and then I'll have to be like a Catholic priest the rest of my life or something, right? Just seeking alms from the poor. Look, is that what priests do? Do they do that anymore? I don't think they do that. All right, dude. I'm talking about this conversation we're having about white privilege, and I want you to go down into inner city Baltimore. Don't look, Baltimore, inner city Baltimore, 65% black, but pick out just the poor white people, and I want you to speak to them about their privilege. Compared to all the rich black and brown people, including in this room, by the way. What do you say?
I would say an example like that, I mean, changes the idea of white privilege. I don't know, maybe if they're walking to a certain kind of store, they have white privilege.
You mean so like the security guard doesn't follow them around?
Certain things like that, but...
Okay, hang on. What kind of car does your mom drive?
What kind of car she drives?
Yeah.
She
Don't
likes.
tell me a Tesla.
No,
Benz?
my family doesn't own a Tesla.
All right, okay.
But
Because you only own Ferraris? Like what? I'm just kidding. Like, what kind of car do you drive?
I drive one of my parents' cars. I drive mainly a Honda Accord.
All right, okay. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Dude, what? I'm just, as a white guy, I'm asking you, as a privileged white guy, which you are, I'm asking you, how do you respond to your, like what you do other white people do, you just get into this white privilege conversation about, yeah, well, I'm privileged because I have this, because I'm white. And I'm like, what about those 40 million people, man? You gotta take account of them. How do you take account of them?
I mean, I guess the less wealthy white people, they still can have some white privilege, but they have the thought in the back of their head that there's people like their same skin color that have more privilege than them. So it becomes, I don't know, less of a factor in their lives. But I would say the lower class white people still have some kind of white privilege, even if they don't know it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right, dude. That's fair. I'm not gonna. Devin, as someone who grew up without a lot, do you sometimes hear this conversation about? Do you? When I say there's rich black and brown people in this class, you know what that means, right? I mean, like really rich.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel if they talk about the fact that you have all this privilege and like they don't? Do you have any thoughts? Like, do you have anything you want to say to them?
I think I feel differently because, you know, once upon a time, I had a hard time wrapping my mind around the same question, like how could I have white privilege when I grew up in the way that I did? But our identities are intersectional. We have, you know, we're existing in various systems of oppression and privilege. And so in that, sure, there are factors working against me, but there are factors working for me. And one of them happens to be that I am white. And so to all those white poor people, sure, you're oppressed because you have a lower social class, but you are still advantaged because you are white. You are the dominant group.
All right. Okay. Hey, I'm not gonna push any further because whatever. You understand. You all get what I'm doing here, right? I'm saying like we got to get outside of these like really narrow confines of how we think about certain things. And we need to just like up the game a little bit, like get out of it, right? Because these things are really complex and we don't want simple stories. You don't want some, if you're thinking like all the other people are thinking, you're not thinking very smart in a very smart way. All right, we have okay, thanks, man. Thanks for going with me, y'all, right? All right, okay.
Okay, this was beautiful to watch. I want to understand something about this white privilege thing. Is it in an aspect of resources, or how you are being treated when you're white? I want to understand it properly. Like, because for me, white privilege does not exist. If you say in the aspect of resources, there are rich white people, the same way there are poor white people. Do you understand? In the aspect about how you are being treated when you go to a store, a grocery store, a supermarket, it's the same. The reason why I say so is when a black person comes into a store, dressed in a different manner, do you understand me? And acting fishy, people look at you different. Secondly, when a black person comes into a store with dressed properly, with a good manner, like someone who wants to get something, he came there to get something and go off. They don't look at him that way. Do you understand? It's as simple as that. Either you choose to accept or not, it's fine. It's the same way they're still going to look at a white man who came into a store, dressed in a wrong manner, in a very wrong way, and acting fishy. It's the same way they're still going to look at him. Either you being white, you being black, you both have privilege. You both have an advantage. There's no one that is higher than this or not higher than that. Bro, when I was watching them, they were confused. Like, they were confused why I was watching them. They're like, it's the same. It's exactly how it sounds, but they just want to say it so people will like them. They're being careful about what they say. White privilege does not exist or do not exist. It's a lie. It's a made-up concept. Everybody tends to want to believe that whites have more advantage than black, that are the dominated group. That is what a lot of them tend to forget. These people who are comparing white privilege, whites have more privilege, is about individual personality. You can come and approach someone in a very bad manner or in a very off manner. Let me just say bad, in a very off manner. The person tend also want to respond to you. That doesn't mean the person is racist or the person is because of your skin color. It's about how you are approached. Do you understand? The person will act the same thing, the same way, which is own race. If the person is white, the person will act the same way, with his own race. Because of the manner of which you approach is off. So it's not about a race thing. It's not about having more advantage than this other person. No, I hate that word white privilege because it does not exist. And the way we are pushing it, it's somehow. These students are acting in a script. For me, I see it as a script. Because you are very careful about what you say, so you don't have people in the same looking at you in a bad manner, or like you are against this certain group, or you are against that certain group. They're very cautious about what they're saying. But the truth of the matter is that exactly what they said right now proves that there's nothing like white privilege. They just said it all. There is nothing as white privilege, that white have more advantage than black. No. I love how the professor answered them. I love how the professor asked the question in a very dynamic way. So they will be truthful to their own self, not just to the class. Do you understand? So it's one thing to lie to yourself and say the truth to the class, and there's another to say truth to yourself and also say the truth to the class. You have to be truthful to yourself first before you can voice it out to everyone. Do you understand? So I love how the question was very dynamic and it makes you want to say the truth out. And with their answers, it shows one thing. There's nothing as white privilege. People just say white privilege exists, but it does not. Either white being like a dominated group in an aspect of number they're dominating. But aside that, no other thing. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up, share this video to as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.